all the power that any man could have, and then some, because he was God ordained. Samson kept violating the will of God, in and out of the hands of the enemy. And he got so busy doing his own thing that when he needed the Lord again, he was so busy doing what he was accustomed to doing, he thought that God would remain with him anyhow. The Bible said once he told Delilah his secret. See, there's some things that God tells you, he don't need you to share with anybody. The preachers, you sure don't gotta get this. You don't tell everything. God wants you to have friends, family, wives, husband, whatever. There's some things God only tells you that he holds you accountable for. Your closest friend can't get this. And you have to know that you can be trusted. God will only say so much to any preacher that he can trust. He won't just let you talk. Tell everything. Some messages aren't supposed to be released. The time isn't yet. But that's when you yield it. You'll say, yes, Lord, I'll shut my mouth. We've had a great teacher, the prophet told us that down through the years, has held messages for years. How can a man hold the word that long? Obey it. If God says what, don't touch it, then you don't touch it. But now we're bringing this religion and salvation to a man's world, where man is not really listening to God. The Bible said there was a way that seemed right unto man, and in there are other ways of death. It appears that man's in charge, y'all, and he thinks he is. How do you say so, Bishop? They change laws and seasons and times. They justify men laying with men and women laying with women. They've been given the rights to marry. Now they have insurance coverage. Little at the time, they told God, you be God up there. We're going to run this show down here. The Laodicean church. Change the truth of God into a lie. I'll drop in that in just a minute here. You got to see this. The book of Romans, chapter 1, will conclude this message. If you're there, let's look at verse 16 of Romans 1. I want your participation there. I'm going to get it. Anybody there? Verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Read on. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. And all of what you heard me read out of Psalms, God did. From now unto this point, he's still able to do it. God is able to do what he said he would do. We know that, right? But it appeared that they forgot. And we have gotten ashamed of our deliverance. When God teaches you his word, show you the will of his word, he has taken the time to bring you out of some things. I don't know, but I strongly believe that God's going to send a person to hell for wearing pants. I don't think he's going to send them to hell for wearing jewelry. But you remember Nebuchadnezzar and his man? That whole house looked like Jezebel. And God says, I want you to separate yourself, my people, from the ones in the dark. So what I'm trying to show you here is that even though a thing may not be sin, God put his seal on you to identify you.
All right.
He says, I'm going to call my people light, and I'm going to call the devil's people darkness. And I want you to come from among the world and be a separate people. So you don't need all this stuff in your ears, and you don't need all this in your nose, and you don't have to wear pants, because sometimes it ain't nothing but a parade of flesh. You understand what I'm saying? God had a reason for what he was doing. People didn't wear them. It's almost like he poured it in them. But the truth of the matter, hear me, watch this. He says, I want you to be a light. It's a sacrifice.
Yes.
It ain't that you can't sit up in here with jewelry. But then he said, modest.
Come on.
Prophet said the only reason he fought against it because in the early church of Christ, they wore it. And some of them still do today. But those that are chaste wear it modestly.
Yes.
You don't almost have to just look to see if it's really there.
Yeah.
No. Folks, today's hula hoops. I ain't picking nobody, I'm just telling the truth.
Yes.
Big rings, nose rings, ear rings,
Yes.
bracelet rings.
Yes.
Someone's got the nerve enough to put it around their ankle. Ain't no but a slave mentality.
Yes.
Slavery, just tie it down.
Mighty God. Thank you, Jesus.
So you have no control of you. Purple hair, red hair, blue hair. Even got Dennis Rodman wearing rainbow hair. No stuff in his nose. They say what dresses too, do his lips. They're doing weird this. But what the God says, he didn't want you to be moved by every wind of doctrine, cunning craftiness through the sleight of men. I know some people are genuinely saved that wear portions of jewelry, and it's so modest that you can't fight it. But when the world can't see the difference between you and them,
That's it.
who are you working for, yourself or Jesus Christ?
Yes.
Now you already know you're not here to stay. We're just what? Passing through. So if I know that I'm just passing through, and Jesus gave